The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Good evening, everybody. And if you're just tuning in, thanks for hanging in there. A few technical issues before I went live. So I saw you, Z Sun Dragon or Kevin saying, is anybody there? I'm here, I promise. Welcome. You're listening or watching UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. You can listen to us in the U.S. on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's actually where we're broadcasting out of. And I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. A little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm a budding animal communicator. I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. Julie Jean Bassett, I'm sure, will pop in. She's my mentor. I've taken her course for animal communication, and she's got a new one coming up. I think she said September 20th and 21st. So if you want to check that out, you can on juliejeanbassett.com. I'm sure she'll be here because I'm going to say hi to everybody in a minute. I am also well-versed in near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. I had one as a toddler myself, and I'm extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say didn't go looking for it, it found us. And we've shared some of our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor. It's season 4, episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. You can find on YouTube, I think Netflix, all over the place. And as I like to give our station manager a shout out, Michelle DeRoche, she's also the host of her own 2 shows on the network as well. Beyond the Out Around tomorrow on Tuesdays from 2:30 to I think it's 2:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then both nights, Wednesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, she's got the Outer Realm. She is in that episode of Paranormal Survivor, but I didn't meet her before then, didn't know her, but I know her quite well now. So the world really is quite a small place. I also want to give a huge shout out to Carnation, all the programming that's here live on the network on Mondays. We call it Carnation Monday because Carnation sponsors all of our shows that are live, including the Angel Rock. And I know Carnation is a global brand. So wherever you are, either listening or watching, if you run into a Carnation product, please consider supporting them because they support us here on UPRN, and we'd greatly appreciate that. Also, if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. This network's been around for 25 plus years. It does broadcast to every country in the world. 80% of our audience is audio only, especially across the pond. So if you're wanting to watch and join the chat, and I always involve the chat in this show and my second show that I do with the lovely Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, who is a host of her own show here on UPRN on Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern, which is Spirit Switchboard. And we do a show together that we absolutely love doing on Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called Beneath the Hollow Moon. This week, I know we're talking about black-eyed children and ghostly children, so it's going to be another spooky episode. We're heading into spooky season. Also, like I was saying, 80% of our audience is audio only. So if you want to join in the chat, you're listening and you're thinking, geez, I got a question or I want to join in the conversation, we'd love to have you. But you have to see us to be able to join in for some reason. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to quickly rattle off where you can join in. On Facebook under my name, Lorilei Potvin. We are on Facebook. We are on my LinkedIn, We are on my YouTube channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We are also on The Angel Rock on Instagram. I'm just popping over there. Oh, we got a few people over there already. I see Steve Burgess Hypnotherapy. He was just recently on The Angel Rock, and we're going to have him back on again. I believe it's in the new year. So check out that show. The archive is on my YouTube channel and UPRN's as well, and Facebook. We've got Constance Victoria Breaks over there, who has been on the Angel Rock a few times as well. So thanks for joining in, people. We really appreciate it. So you can also join in the conversation under UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on Facebook by that name. We are also on our main YouTube channel by that name. The Twitch is also under the same name with UFO Paranormal United Public Radio Network. And I am streaming on Rumble under Joe Montaldo's Rumble channel, which is under, I think it's called Jojo Mon. And Joe Montaldo is the owner of our network. So I'm going to give him a huge shout out because he provides this incredible platform. We do stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week live. When we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks into the past 25 plus years. So we are streaming live all the time, but many, many new shows. It's not all just UFO and spooky stuff and high strangeness. We really do have something for everyone here. So keep your eye out too. We got lots of new hosts and new shows always coming out. You can also check us out on our website, which is being revamped as I speak. It's www.uprntalkradio.com. From what I hear through the grapevine, I believe we're also going to have a chat room over on that website and possibly a merch store, which will be really, really cool. Just let me see. Oh, also, if you want to watch us on TV, you can. The network does have a TV channel on Roku. So you go to the channel store and type in UFO space P as in paranormal, and there's a drop-down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. So I think I remembered everything. Also remind you too, if you can hang out after this show in about 2 hours, we've got the Light Gate coming up with Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron, so stay tuned for that. So I'm going to say hi to everybody. We were supposed to have a guest this evening, and I knew when I was mentioning, I think Thursday night, I said, if they're not here, you'll be hanging out with me. Let's just say Spirit always gives you a heads up. So I had a funny feeling that was going to happen, but that's okay because I get to hang out with all of you, and that doesn't happen very often. So I love when we can do a show together, just little old me and all of you. So we got Z Sun Dragon, or I love to call him by his muggle name, as I say. That's Kevin. We've got Sherry Madigan. She says hi, Lorilei, and everybody's saying hi to one another. We've got Astrolight Paranormal, Victoria. Welcome. I've got to get a hold of you, Victoria, because I would love to have you on my show. I am booking into February, but I would love to have you on. Definitely. So we're going to have to make that happen. We got Kirby's 100. Hello. We got Contessa Martins. She says hello, everyone. Michelle Wilfong. She says hello there. I always give Michelle a shout out. We're not on TikTok. They like to penalize me every time I get to stream over there. I have to use the special software to be able to work with StreamYard, and they usually penalize me for 7 days, and then they allow me to stream again. But when we are streaming over there, Michelle Wilfong is my moderator over there. She is incredible. She does such a fantastic job, and she has a really cool channel on TikTok too called My Haunted Apartment, and she does live in a haunted apartment and has some crazy activity that she shares over there, so be sure to check her out. Let's see, everybody saying hi. Oh, you'd love to be on. I'd love to have you on, Victoria, so we'll have to make that happen. We got Lisa Martinello. She says hi, everyone. Hi, Lisa. I haven't seen you in forever, so it's nice to see you here. Welcome to everybody. And like I said, we checked Instagram. Oh, we got somebody else. Oh, Steve Burgess says, hi, Lorilei. Hi, Steve. You guys, Steve was amazing. He was on, I think it was almost a month ago, Steve? He was on talk. He's a hypnotherapist, and he works with people getting into their past lives and all kinds of things like that. It was a really intriguing show. And I had him on about right when I was on the network. I've been here over 6 years. So I think it was, maybe it was about 3 or 4 years ago, but it was nice to have him back on. He's got a new book out there, so check it out. So I was thinking, what are we going to talk about tonight? And as you probably all know, there was a tragedy. I have to be careful with what I'm saying here on YouTube. And somebody was their life was taken, Charlie Kirk. And though I didn't necessarily always agree with everything he had to say, I have to give him huge kudos, because you know what? He believed in what he was standing for, and he went out there and put himself out there. And because of standing up for his beliefs, I believe, he lost his life. And it's just a little reminder. We're not going to talk about that all night tonight, guys, but I thought, you know what? This is an important thing to talk about. I talked a little bit about this, I think, Thursday night. I want to pull something up here. Hang on. What one do I want to pull up? I think we'll pull up the first one here. I'm just going to pull up a picture as we're speaking. And I talked about this a little bit, but I thought I'm going to pull it up again. No, I don't want to send anybody the link. For some reason, that's what it decided to do. What said here? Let's send a link. So we're going to pull up this picture here. Share. Let's make sure. No, of course, sometimes it adds it. It says add to the stage. And sometimes when you click it, it stays in the green room, and sometimes it just pops up. So we're going to pop this up. Now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I think what we'll do is just put the skeletons here first. So if you weren't there, I'm going to talk that was so awful, Sherry, and so sad. It really was. And his wife, what a brave woman to step up and make the statement she did on the weekend. And 2 little kids don't have a dad today. And a lot of people are reaping the repercussions of making the videos that they did, celebrating somebody losing their life. I'm seeing a lot of people are losing their jobs, and then we get into the topic of free speech. But what people forget, right? How, let's just even say great power comes great responsibility, right? From, what was it, Spider-Man? You can certainly, in certain countries, speak your mind and stand up with free speech. But I think that we have a duty to, you can certainly speak your mind, but when you're celebrating the loss of life because of somebody else, and a lot of these people really hurt my heart with the fact that, a lot of nurses, a lot of people working with young people, a lot of people in a lot of positions of power, and then very upset that they're losing their job. And what I'm going to say is, if you're going to make those kind of videos, media is changing, and now we're really getting into social media, especially over the last 5 years. I think you need to take responsibility for what you're saying, right? So I'm going to show this picture here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. And so I think that, like I said, I talked about this. Now, if you guys are looking at this, and I'm not trying to oversimplify this because this may help other people. Julie, I started to talk about you. I don't know if your ears are burning. As soon as we're done with this picture, I'm going to give you a proper shout out. So all these skeletons, if you look at them, right, they all look completely alike. And I use this analogy with my youngest son, who passed away January 15th this year unexpectedly. And he had severe autism. And when he was a little guy, he could barely speak. He was probably about 6 or 7. He had problems with one child who looked very different, had different colored skin. I'm not really sure why we didn't promote that anybody looked any differently. We have a lot of relatives of different nationalities, but for whatever reason, there was a problem with this child. And so how I was trying to explain it to my son was, and they pulled up a picture very similar to this. And I said, do you see all these skeletons here? And he said, yes. And I said, you know what? That's what we all look like on the inside. That's what holds us up together, able to walk, right? Bones, basically. And I know there's other parts of the human body. But then what I said to him is, because the names are covered up, I'm going to pull the names down in a minute here. So it's not so much about the names, but over top, right, it says white, black, straight, gay, I put my glasses on, religious, atheist, pirate, right? If you didn't have those labels there wouldn't be any difference between any of us, right? So the way I was explaining this to my son was, we all look different, and one's even missing a leg. I'm glad you could see that, Kevin. I think you're right. Is that the pirate that is? I'm not sure. Good catch. But my whole point is that, the way I explained to my son was the reason why we look different and we have different beliefs. And, we're unique, each and every one of us. I said, that's kind of like wrapping paper. And I explained it to him, Christmas morning, because he used to love Christmas. And I said to him that, wrapping paper, they were all the same, just brown, straight paper, wrapping paper, He said, sure, you get excited that there's presents there. I said, but what makes them so unique and special and super, super exciting, they're all different sizes, the wrapping paper's different colors, they're decorated differently. And so I was explaining to him that human beings are that way too, right? We all look the same right down to our bones, but we're all different. And that's the beauty in it all. If we all got along with one another, it would be great. But where I'm going with this is if we all had the same beliefs, we all had, everything was identical, how would we ever grow and learn, right? It's part of the reason why I think that we're here as human beings. You know, each of us is on our own journey, and we all have different reasons why we're here. And though we may not agree with one another, or we may not like what somebody else says, I and again, I'm not the be all to the end all, but I think that it's important that, you know, I think especially as grown-ups, that it's okay to disagree or agree to disagree. And if you don't agree with what someone's saying or what they're doing, to walk away. Just walk away, delete it, swipe, keep going, right? And, you know, we've seen times like this throughout history. If those of us who are old enough, I mean, I wasn't alive when Martin Luther King this happened to, or JF Kennedy Jr., or oh, sorry, RFK and JFK Jr., that's right. All these things that happened back in the 60s. And I would hope that we would learn something from this. So I guess where I was going to go with this is, you know, I'm really hoping that we can remember that we're all human beings. And again, where I was going with this is if we really just all agreed on everything, imagine how boring life would be. We'd never grow. We'd never change. We'd never evolve. We'd never learn. I can tell you some of the things that I believe today have shifted even 10 years now, even when it comes to the paranormal. You know, and I think that we have to keep an open mind. Again, I didn't agree with everything that Charlie Kirk may have said, but I admired his courage and the fact that he believed in what he was doing. And, you know, I think he touched a big portion of the population globally, not just in the United States, with young people. And again, I think that that's the beauty in it all. I think there's enough viewpoints and enough places where people can go and resonate and form a community. But when we turn to hate and we turn to celebrating the death of another human being, that's where it really broke my heart. I'm going to read some of your comments here. Give me a moment. Excuse me. So I only brought that drawing up because I know I had mentioned it Thursday night when we talked a little bit about this. So Z Sun Dragon, or Kevin, says, like you said, one was missing a leg. I didn't even see that. He said the pirate. I thought it had to be the pirate, right? Because we always have the stereotypical pirate with the peg leg, right? I'm not going to do the R because I'm not a good pirate. And thank you, Daniel. I'm actually going to share this, even though I appreciate what you share. You said, "For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Judge not, lest you be judged. Love your neighbors as yourself." Right, and that's okay, right? Everybody has different belief systems about what a higher power is, or even, like it mentioned, an atheist. So usually, if I'm teaching or working with a client, I'll use many words to describe a higher power. And I've worked with even people that don't have a belief in a higher power. And that's okay too, right? We all need healing. We all, you know, I always believe that whoever comes to book an appointment with me or work with me, right, we're meant to find one another. But thank you for sharing that, Daniel. I appreciate that. Lisa says, I often listen without checking in, LOL. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. And Lisa said, I also think it's very sad that such a young man had such strong feelings to carry out such an act. Yeah, you know, that was the sad part about it. And then I do follow true crime. You guys know I've mentioned it before. And even the fact of when somebody does something horrible as an adult, that the family gets lumped in with it, right? I'm even thinking of, God forbid, Brian Koberger with what he did to those 4 beautiful college students. And the family has been lumped right in with it. I heard his 2 sisters lost their jobs. They didn't commit that crime. They were good, upright law-abiding citizens from, from what the world saw of them and the jobs they did, but because of their name and the heinous act their sibling had committed, right? So there's many, many people when someone chooses to do something like that, that it doesn't just affect themselves, it affects the whole world in a way. And two little kids are going to grow up without a dad, and that really broke my heart. Kevin says, I don't judge people. Um, People get along. You get along with everyone until they give me a reason not to. Certainly not because of nationality or sexuality or what they do for a living. Yes, I agree. Because another story I've talked about often on here. I used to work in the NICU as a nurse at one of the hospitals here that's no longer standing. We've gone amalgamated to one bigger hospital, and I decided I wanted to work out in the community, have kind of a Monday to Friday job, very little shift work. I could have worked evenings, but I didn't. And then on top of it, I think I worked every second or third weekend. And when I found out where I was going to be working, going in, I only went into my office every 2 weeks. I bought a cell phone. Cell phones were just coming out. They didn't even give us cell phones. I was going to be working in the most dangerous, violent part of the city. Like, it really was dangerous to be working there. I always said I could have been hung up and strung up on a wall for 2 weeks before someone found me. I do have to tell you that was one of the most life-changing experiences I've ever had, and I'm so grateful for it. People taught me so much about the way they lived, people who had nothing, and I met some of the kindest, most beautiful souls working in that area. I had it for 3 years, and we had to switch areas every 3 years. I was heartbroken when I had to switch to another area, and I've never forgotten that. It completely changed my life. Not that I ever, even as a younger person, judged people, but you don't. I always say you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So when you go into somebody's home, you discover a lot more about life and human beings. And yeah, it was life changing. Whereas most people may have looked at other people from that area, um, looked down on them. I can tell you, I learned so much about life, and, you know, people explaining how they got there. If we had the times they had to go in for an intravenous that took an hour or two in their home. And so you start talking, and, different cultures, and, you know, oh God, I could go on about it, but it was very, very, very life changing. Before I go any further, I said I was going to mention Julie Jean Bassett. Julie, I did mention about your course. I think you said the 20th to the 21st. So Julie Jean Bassett, is a friend of mine, also a mentor of mine. I took her beginner animal communication course. As I said earlier in the show, if you weren't here, I believe you're running one. Is it September 20th and 21st, Julie? I highly recommend it. Now, you don't have to be quote unquote psychic to take this course. I know Julie will agree with me with this part, with the fact that I believe anybody, it's your birthright to be able to communicate with animals. And it's a wonderful course. You'll meet wonderful people. Also, say you've got problems with your animals. They're doing really weird, odd behavior. You've tried everything. I have met people that have said, if this doesn't stop, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I know Julie helped me. She's worked with Carrie Lynn before. There's people in the audience that have worked with her as well. When my son was alive, his cat, for some reason, just started peeing on his bed every now and then. And I was at my wit's end, because it was like, there was a waterproof mattress. I had his sheets and layers of incontinence pads everywhere. And you never knew when she was going to do it. And so I reached out to Julie, and she was able to help with this cat. She was able to offer a lot of healing that my cat needed, including after my son died. So I'm telling you, she's incredible with animals, both Earthside and across the Rainbow Bridge. So if you ever want to get a hold of her, you can get a hold of her at juliejeanbassett.com for the animal things. I've also had a session with Julie, as she is a shamanic practitioner, that was life-changing. Probably almost a year ago, I think, Julie, now. And she has a website for that too, which is whitetailshamanichealing.com. But I highly recommend Julie. And no, I'm not getting paid to say it. I'm telling you from personal experience. She will definitely be able to help you with your animals, and she definitely could help you. Say you've gone through something pretty traumatic or whatever it may be. I believe even diseases have a lot of trauma and emotional and spiritual reasons behind why we get ill. And I'm telling you, and I'm not speaking on the behalf of being a shamanic practitioner because I'm not, but I'm telling you, Julie could definitely help. So I highly recommend her. Now, let me get back to our comments here. Hang on, where are we? Oh, Diane Brighton. Yes, Diane, you are right. We all come from the same place. And Sherry was agreeing with Lisa. I think going back to Lisa's comment, she had said, you had such a sad feeling. Yes, about the young man that did this. And Contessa said, I feel so out of sorts since this happened. I feel so sad for his family. But the part that has left me speechless is how people are acting. Me too, Contessa. It also feels like demonic how some are acting. Well, I always say it's not my job to judge. Not that I'm saying you're judging. I know you're expressing your opinion, but I know we all judge as human beings in some way or another. The energy, yes, definitely, even not just around this, but everything seems to be, it almost feels like a pressure cooker to me right now. And a lot of this energy is very heavy. It just almost feels like it's about to, something's got to give, if you will. So I can hear you about that. And depending on who you talk to, that there is a spiritual war going on right now. And I don't think I could disagree with that. So I hear you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that, because I have to tell you, it broke my heart. And I've been in the death and dying field most of my adult life. And like I say, with losing my son early this year, not expectedly, it really, not that life wasn't precious to me before, but just how quickly life can be gone. Your loved one can be there, and 30 seconds later, they're gone, right? And just to cherish every moment you have. I do try to do this with everybody I care about. I'm not always perfect with it, but I definitely never like to end a phone call or a conversation without telling someone I love them, because we never know, right? None of us are promised tomorrow, and I'm not trying to be negative or fatalist here. I think it's just being realistic. Sherry, you said, I agree, Contessa, to celebrate someone losing their life like that leaves me speechless as well. I also, and a lot of you may not agree with me, but I think those people that are doing that as well need a lot of love. They need a lot of love. And I've seriously sat back and asked myself, if I had heard about somebody that was extremely evil on a global perspective, would I celebrate it? And then, thinking back to some of the characters throughout history, right? That's another human being too. And I don't know if I would celebrate it. I might be glad that they're not able to hurt all the people maybe they've hurt throughout history, without saying the names here and getting any issues with speaking them out loud, but I'm sure we can think of many. But we are all here for a reason, right? And when we go through a tragedy or we go through something awful, right? A lot of change, it's kind of unfortunate, because when things are really good and there's status quo, what do we all say, right? I wish this could never end. But things always do shift. And on the other perspective, that when things seem really heavy and really dark, and remembering too that things always do shift. But it seems like, and I believe that in the future, hopefully with humanity, things will shift in a different direction, that we won't need a tragedy or sadness or something awful happening for us to be faced with that choice with what do I do with this? Right? And there's no right or wrong answer, but some people get stuck in that energy of being a victim and not being able to move forward. And again, that's with no judgment. But I've also seen a lot of people who have really gone through some awful things, and they've used that experience to make a positive change for humanity. Maybe they started a foundation. Maybe they've, whatever it may be. And again, hopefully humanity can shift, that we do not have to have these awful tragedies for us to shift and move forward and continue to do great things for one another. And Julie said, yes, this weekend. I'm so excited to be teaching it this weekend. So you guys, I strongly recommend it. Not cramming it down your throat, but I am telling you, wouldn't you love to know what your pets are thinking, or whatever? And we already know that. You may not think so, but think about all the, I call them fur babies, you can call them zoo babies, whatever. They don't all have fur. But you kind of already know what your pet wants. Think about it. I mean, yes, there's behavior that sometimes they exhibit to let you know, but we know, like when your pet wants to go outside, or maybe your pet needs love, or your pet wants a water bowl filled, and say you had a busy morning, you didn't get a chance to change the water. It's little things like this, or your pet wants a cookie, or whatever that might be, right? So I think we all have the ability to communicate with animals. I think that little ones and animals too, little ones, I think, can see spirit very easily. I actually pulled up some videos for you guys tonight. They're pretty cool. And then I think part of the reason why I think animals can see spirit too, and I really believe it's because kids and animals live in the now. They don't worry about the past. They don't worry about a bill they got to pay a year from now, right? And I really believe that children's work is play. And I think because that children, especially the younger they are, and animals, they live in a high frequency vibration, right? Their joy. No, not every child experiences joy. I get that not every animal experiences joy. But on the whole, and I actually it's streaming right now, Caesar Milan and the Dog Whisperer. Now, I know there's going to be people who are going to have a lot to say about that and what have you. We used to watch it years ago, my partner Del and I. And the one thing that always used to get to me, because he always talked about energy and this and that, right? And he looked like a miracle worker walking in there. But he never, I know he tried, but how do you explain to people? I'm pulling something out as I'm talking to you. How to use energy or manipulate energy and use it when you're working with your pet. And I realized that I made this connection a couple of weeks ago. I went, holy cow, that's exactly what he's doing, right? Calm, assertive energy. And, he calls it dog psychology. But what he's really explaining is living in the now, right? Just not worrying about this, not letting the mind create all these awful pictures. And where I'm going with this is, and when you watch the show, people have had some bad experiences with, say, their dogs. The dogs are attacking other animals and what have you, right? So we worry the next time we go out, we're like, oh my God, there's another dog. And we can almost picture or see what's going to happen. And getting people to shift to just calm, assertive energy. We've all done it before, whether we believe we can or not, we have. And, and it's hard. It's hard as a human being, especially if your animals had a real history of something. But where I was going, where I really picked up on this, and he always says to people, can you feel it? Can you feel it? I thought, I don't think most of us are taught to feel energy, but he'll stand there with his hands out, right? And I used to feel very frustrated with him because he never explained to people how to do it. And then I realized, I had this realization. I think it came from my guides. I call this my stupid pet trick, right? It's just a pendulum. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try not move my arm and tell you it's going to swing back and forth. Now it's going to stop. Now it's going to swing counterclockwise. Yes, thank you. Now it's going to, can we get it to go clockwise? Hang on. Clockwise. This one's a little heavier. Clockwise. Yeah, it's starting to go. I forget to breathe when I'm doing this. I'm trying not to move my arm. Thank you. So I call it my stupid pet trick. But what I realize what it is picturing in your mind what you want to see. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen those pictures back in the 80s where they had all those zigzaggy lines with the colors, and if you unfocused your eyes, you could see the picture. I've never seen the picture, but it's kind of like that. And you believe it or not, use your imagination. What you kind of get that unfocusedness. Remember to breathe, because I just said I forget to breathe because I'm focusing. And the same thing I teach people too. If you're going to a job interview, for example, maybe you're really nervous and you don't feel confident. I got this from Spirit, faking it till you make it. So if you can imagine, we all have an energy field around us. You can call it an aura, you can call it a bubble, you can call it whatever you want. I work with people and suggest to them to picture it, making it really big, this big bubble around you, whether it's light, however you want to look at it, because and fill it up, that bubble, if you will, with something that makes you feel really happy or makes you feel love or makes you feel really confident, even if you have to tap into a success from the past. You're going to imagine it, like imagine what that bubble's going to look like, right? Because that exudes that confidence, right? That big energy. Same thing, you're in a situation where maybe you're not feeling safe. Maybe you don't want to be seen. Then you can imagine pulling that bubble back around you, wrapping you up. You can put into it whatever you want. I get a lot of people come up with different suggestions when I've been mentoring them. And they'll say, well, can I do this? Or can I do that? And I always say, if you can think it, you can dream it, and you're coming from a place of love, either for yourself or for others, and you're holding the highest good, again, whether it's for yourself or someone else, as long as you tick off those boxes, whatever you think up or you can imagine, you can do it. So I don't know how, like I said, I had no idea what we were going to talk about. We're going to get into the spooky stuff, I promise. We're still going through the comments here. Julie, feel free to post a link or anything like that for the animal communication course this weekend. And then on top of that, I know Julie is working on, I'm probably going to take it, the animal healing, that course I think she's setting up with chakras. Because I know a lot about healing, and I know a lot about the human body, and I know a lot about medical stuff. But animals, Julie just blows me away with the things she comes out with and what she's able to work with. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Okay, so my background. So my partner, Dell, got a package from Temu this weekend. So did I. Wait till you guys see some of the Halloween-y stuff I have that I ordered. I'm super excited. So he says, yeah, your surprise is here. And I went, oh, okay. And I wasn't very excited. And he hands me this package. And I go, what is it? He goes, it's a background. And I'm going to tell you, I wasn't too excited about it. I went, oh, okay. And I still hadn't opened it. I was in the middle of something. So I said, well, what is it? He goes, it's all Halloween stuff. It's like ghosts. And then I was like, oh my gosh, super excited. So he helped me put it up. I thanked him for it. I told him I wasn't super excited because I wanted to be honest. And then I thanked him for it because it was perfect. Because I was thinking, I don't have a Halloween background. I should get one. Now I have one. So there you go. Heidi Gall is here. Hello, Heidi. She says, hello and much love from Boulder. Sorry, got distracted by a neighbor. Then my dad stopped by. Well, that's okay. You should always spend time with people like that make you feel good. You said you went to dinner with your dad. Well, I hope you had a great time. And Julie's mentioning, Julie Jean Bassett, that they need love and healing. Yes. Stone Hobbit. Hello, Stone Hobbit. We haven't seen you in a bit. They said, hey, roomies, my goat is psychic. I was watching him and said in my head, baby, hasn't got a name yet. And he turned his head and looked straight at me. That's pretty cool. Well, guess what else you can do? And I've talked about this trick many times. Augie Nost, who is a good friend of mine, he has Broadcast Team Alpha on YouTube that he co-hosts with Nori Love, who's also a friend of mine. I was on there recently. I had to pre-record the episode for Broadcast Team Alpha because their show is on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and Carrie Lynn and I are live at that time. Anyways, Augie taught me this trick, and I know there have been other people that have tried it. So I believe that we were telepathic once, and I think we still communicate telepathically. We just don't realize it. So next time you're in line, or if you're across the pond, some people say NQ, and you've got someone standing in front of you. Okay, right here at the nape of their neck. I'll pull my hair back. So right here, if you guys can see, if you're not listening, it's just at the back of your head, but below where your neck is. You sit there and you take a deep breath, and inside your head, think, turn around, turn around, turn around. Now, it's probably not going to work the first time. If it does, great. But if it doesn't, keep practicing, because eventually, and there are a few people in here who have done it and have said it does work, and the person in front of you will turn around and start looking around, feel like, was someone just talking to me? It works, right? So I believe you about your goat. Believe you. Oh, Michelle, you're only at 4% battery. You're switching devices. That's good. Kevin, if you stare at it and then look at a blank wall, you will see it. Freaky how that works. So you're talking about those pictures with the zigzaggy lines from like the 90s. I could never, ever do that. So I'll have to try that if I ever see one again. And thanks, Victoria. You said you couldn't agree more. Michelle Wilfong's back. Good. Julie says, yes, animal chakras class. Yes, I'm excited for that one too. So am I. I will be signing up for that one. I know I will, because I want to learn more about that. Definitely. And let's see. Thank you about the background. Kevin says, love Halloween and all the deco things. Me too. I've been making Halloween stuff like crazy. My 3D printer, it was kind of shut down for about 3 weeks, because that's the frustrating thing about 3D printers. I wish they would just send like a course with it or a resource or whatever. I finally figured out what the problem is, because I thought I was only going to use it to create mold blanks that I could put silicone and create molds for resin or things like that. Are you kidding? I have that thing going 24 hours a day. I am so hooked on it. There is nothing you cannot make with a 3D printer. And I'm hooked. I usually pour resin pieces every night, or play with polymer clay or whatever. And right now with a 3D printer, even to make a resin, like it's called, not the mold, what is it called? I forget the name of it, but when you print up the piece, or you've got a piece and you put the silicone over top, pull the piece out, then you've got a perfect mold. You don't kind of have to make a mold and pour resin, because I use the ones with it's called filament. So it's plastic, like in a little tiny rope that feeds through the machine. It comes out almost like resin anyways. So I'm having a ball with it. Oh, you know Augie, Stone Hobbit? Cool. And we are still very telepathic. Agreed. So Stone Hobbit says, I like to test people by thinking nose, eyes, ears, and I watch and see who in the Zoom rooms does what. That's so cool. And File 13, I love your shirt. I'm guessing you also have the LP that animates when you play it. LP. Are you talking about this? So this shirt here? Yes, I love this movie. I love him. Love him. I do have an animated one, if that's what you're talking about. I also have some Halloween gnomes up. I'm trying to think what else I've got. I have so much Halloween stuff. I've been trying not to go shopping, because you end up with too much stuff. So, but yes, stop. I love Jack. Love Jack. Actually, I saw some things that I was looking for patterns for my 3D printer with Jack Skellington. Definitely love him, and Grinch. So Cav, or Zson Dragon, says, my cats know when I'm thinking of my dog just came over. My cats know when I'm thinking of them. The one in mine will always come see me, even if I call them by name in my head, and that particular one will come to me, LOL. So I had this, as you know, Stephen Nicole. There was a guy that showed up in my TikTok feed saying what your cat's meows and stuff mean, and it was like meow, meow, or something like that. And I thought, there's no way that works, because he said, oh, it means come here. So I filmed her doing it for the first time, and she just walked right over. I shared it with a few people privately, and a few friends that are real cat fanatics or have cats. One of them said, yeah, mine didn't do it. And I shared it with my eldest son. He said his cats didn't do it either. So I was surprised that Stephen Nicole did. And File 13, it's a record. Oh yeah. No, I know what an LP is. Believe it or not, I'm old enough to know what LPs and a record player are. I just turned 60 August 15th, so I'm well aware. When the record spins, it animates the scene. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I don't have that, but I was looking at some this weekend. Julie said, of course they do. They understand more than most give them credit for. I believe you, and I believe you were mentioning that about animals. Absolutely. Sherry loves Jack Skellington too. And just checking on Instagram here. So we should do our station ID so you guys don't have to remind me. And then what I thought, I had not gone to Nuke's Top 5 in a while. He actually had some cool videos thrown in. And I have to say, you know what I like that he's doing as of late? So it's never 5 videos. It's always 10 videos. He counts down that people send in. And on number 1, he calls them scurry videos. So SKURRY, because they kind of seem like they're scary, but they're really not when you see what's causing the scariness on the video. Some of them are quite funny, like really, really funny. But he had some good things in there. Oh, Kevin says that is funny. Meow or meow, what that means. Yeah, well, I don't know, I thought I'd try it. He showed that it was working with his cat, so I thought I'll try it. And I thought, if I don't film it, watch she does it. And I haven't got it on film, so she did, but that was the one thing. So anyways, if you guys are just tuning in, you're listening live to 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast in the US and Mississippi, and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, where we are actually broadcasting out of to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. And tonight we kind of just got like whatever. You guys have some questions you guys want to ask. You guys have some paranormal things you guys want to talk about, whatever it is. And I also want to thank you that you guys were open to having this discussion about, how we can be kinder to one another. And I know you all know that. But you know what? When we hear things like this as a reminder, sometimes we're able to carry that message forward to others, not in a way that is crammed down their throats, but just in a gentle way. Because like I said, yes, I was horrified by the videos that I had seen out there, with people, the way they reacted to what had happened to Charlie Kirk. And then you get that reminder from Spirit that those are the people that probably need a lot of love. Plus, there are consequences for our actions, right? And a lot of people don't like to think that, but there is, definitely. Now, you're saying file 13, that's why I hang out with horses, good connection, great for grounding. I like horses. My youngest son used to like them too. I used to take him to therapeutic riding. So horses are beautiful. Hi, Mish. Okay, Mish is joining us from the future. It's now Tuesday morning in Australia. I know it's early morning. Have you got your coffee yet, Mish? So, like I said, you guys all get me tonight. Spirit, let me know. That's why I remember saying last Thursday when Carrie Lynn asked me when we were signing off, who do you have on the Angel Rock? And I said, I think we're having a psychic detective, but if not, you got just little me to hang out with. And I don't usually say that because I pretty well was hearing from Spirit that the person was not able to make it. They had forgotten, and that's okay. Because like I say, I love doing shows with all of you. I never get a chance to do that. So it's kind of nice when we get to hang out. So I know I had mentioned, let me see what one video. Oh, I got to take the spooky skeletons off the front here. Here, hang on my screen. But there was a video, I think it's the first Nuke's Top 5 I wanted to show you guys. It was supposed to send through to me. Did you guys? Oh, it did. Okay, hang on. That's number 2. There's number 1. I was talking to you about how children can see spirit. And once again, there's actually quite a few kids in this video. Hang on, I gotta mute it because it loves to play commercials. Give me a sec. We gotta skip the doo-dah there. Hang on. Okay, good. All right, let's pull it up. I'm going to show you this. Was listening a bit about the resin. Very cool. Read the 3D printer. Yes. Well, Mish does resin too. We met. You say my partner used to have a show on the network. You say you met me from watching his show. I'm not sure how we connected, but it was a few years back. And I call Mish my birthday twin because she's in Australia, but she's 12 hours ahead. So her birthday is August 14th. Mine is August 15th. So we kind of overlap in a way with the time difference. And Mish loves resin like I do. She makes orgonite, all kinds of things like that. So I'm glad I met her. And I have all of you here too to chat with. You know what? It's always so nice when you've got a bunch of people hanging out. Like I said, what are you guys thinking? Have you guys had any scary experiences out there? Is there anything spooky you guys want to talk about? I found some pretty spooky videos in here tonight, let me tell you. Share screen. I haven't even delved into yet. Black Eyed Kids, but let me tell you, holy cow, guys, if you guys haven't delved into that field yet, whew, you guys are in for a spooky one, let me tell you. How do I want to do this? Now we got to unmute this. Hang on, as I'm talking and doing this all at once. Okay, good. Let's see. All right, we'll bring it forward. I think this is the first video. Please forgive me if it's not, but I was talking about kiddos, and you see what you think about this.
Proud mom Savannah says that she often took her daughter to see her grandmother at the nursing home and that her little girl always loved those visits. Unfortunately, one quiet night, Savannah's elderly grandmother passed away peacefully in her sleep. The very next morning, just before Savannah's daughter wakes up and wanders into her playroom. She sits there in the dark, all alone, playing and just talking to herself. But when Savannah listens closely to the security footage, it seems like her daughter might not have been alone after all.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to make it bigger for you guys. Sorry. May bring it back just a wee bit. Bring it back a bit more. Sorry, guys, it jumped. I was trying to make it bigger for you guys, so. Cat's meowing.
It's nighttime, we can sleep. And you want to say so now? To active
The toddler seems to be speaking directly to her recently deceased grandmother, even gently reminding Grandma that she's now with the angels on the other side.
Hi, Grandma. It's nighttime, we can sleep. And you want to say so now? To active
Savannah says that she can't explain what happened, but that watching the bittersweet video always brings tears to her eyes. She believes that her grandma came back to say one last goodbye to her beloved little granddaughter.
Hi, Grandma. To active
Welcome. Never fails. We end up getting commercials here, but I'll remove that for a sec. Yeah, isn't that cool? Well, I'm a real believer in that. If you start looking up little ones around this age, there's a few videos, and this Nuke's top 5 and the other one. There's one in particular where there's a video of this little girl as a 3-year-old, and she's going, "Stay away, ghost, stay away, ghost, go away. I don't like," basically stuff like that. And then it cuts to her. She's now 18. And she was at her aunt's house, and her aunt was filming this. Now, you can't hear anything on the camera, but this little girl as a 3-year-old looks pretty scared. And the story was that I guess she said she was having potato soup or something at her aunt's house, and this happened. She has no memory, but her aunt is convinced that she saw a spirit on, or like the little girl was seeing a spirit and telling it to stay away. And there's another video in there, like there's quite a few little kids people are catching on camera. This little guy looks like he's about maybe 18 months or 2 years old. And he's saying, "Get away, ghost man. Not going to listen to you, ghost man." And then he says, "Stop talking or I beat you up, ghost man." And you can't see anything on the camera, but these little kids, you can tell they're looking at something and they're talking to someone. So pretty intriguing, definitely. Hang on, I'm going through this. Oh, Mish says she's so blessed to have met you two, and all of you helped me through a lot of grieving. Well, I'm glad we could help here, Mish. We're so glad we've met all of you. And Kevin says cool stuff. There's another kiddo one here. I gotta get through this. That's the only thing I don't like about YouTube is these stupid videos that show up for, I know they need to be there to play for video, but all the advertising, I don't know if it's in this one or not with this little kid. I'm gonna check it. Just give me a sec. The Unseen Observer. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what's in this one. This one. Okay, this one was just, he had some guy showing up. There's some weird stuff in elevators. There's a lot of unexplained stuff that people seem to be catching on camera. So I wanted to know, like, what do you guys think? Like, because, okay, so we're September 15th today. Before you know it, we're going to be in spooky month. Do you guys believe that the veil gets thinner at this time of year? Do you believe that there's more experiences? What are your thoughts? Has anybody had some strange and unusual experiences, especially as of late? Because, we were talking about the energy at the beginning of the first hour, the first hour of the show. No, it's going to be Christmas, LOL. Yeah, I don't know if I want to celebrate Christmas this year. I probably will, but I don't know if I want to. But I probably will, because my son Justin loved Christmas. So that one's going to be a tough one this year. But I'm sure we will celebrate in some semblance. But he always kept us on track with all the Christmas festivities because he still believed in Santa. And he had to have, he called them cherry cookies. I always made him shortbread with little maraschino cherries in the middle. And he was so worried that if the Christmas tree wasn't up and fully decorated long before Christmas Eve, Santa wouldn't come and things like that. I know I'll be okay. It's just, it's not the same, Mish, as you well said. You don't enjoy Christmas, and that's okay. But I'll probably do it just the same. I'll do it because I know, and I do believe this. And when I work with people as a medium, I believe our loved ones are with us in spirit, especially when we think of them. So he'll still be with us at Christmas. So we'll probably celebrate it. Let's see. There was a couple other videos I was going to share with you guys in this clip. So give me a sec. It's kind of hard when there's 10 videos. I wonder if this is the one I'm looking at. There's one in here. It was really, this was creepy in the elevator. Maybe we'll do this one. Hang on. Give me just one sec. I got to find the beginning. Let me see. Okay. We got to go back. Oh, of course. Can you guys believe this? Another commercial came on. Every time you stop the video. Okay, this is in an elevator, and I think the power goes out. Just give me a sec. I got to get back right to the beginning. Okay, I think there's a couple elevator ones. I might as well just do the elevator ones, I guess, because both of them are a little creepy. Let me go back. Keep going back. Sorry, guys. It's hard to get right to the beginning. Anytime now. Yeah, there's 2 in this elevator one, so we're going to do it, I guess, both of them. I'll have to stop in between them, though, just because of YouTube, so that it's fair use. Okay, the little one in here. Okay, anytime now. What did you guys think of the little one? I'll let it play for a little bit. Still going through here. What did you think? Do you think she saw her grandma? I thought it was super sweet. Oops, sorry. Good, that's where I want. I'll unmute it now. That's the only thing when it's 10 videos like this. Hi, Sparky's Paranormal, saying hi. And Kevin says they do visit, that's for sure. And Heidi says, oh, me too. Love it, Lorilei. Yeah, I always say that I try to walk the walk. Thanks, Mish, about the backdrop. I just told a story about it. Dell got it for me as a surprise. I try to walk the walk of the talk that I do. So I do try to, like I say, when I tell people I believe our loved ones are with us, I believe he's with us too. Oh gosh, can you imagine us all being together in the afterlife? I think we will be. And Kevin says, I don't doubt she was talking to her grandmother. I don't either. Okay, let's go over here. All these buttons to push as I'm talking. Okay, so this has got 2 elevator videos. So I'll stop them in between, but they're kind of in the same, I think it's video number 9. Because there's weird stuff. I didn't see it at first until he slowed it down and showed people, because it was kind of creepy. So hang on. And like you said, you guys got spooky stuff you want to talk about. Kevin, I'm surprised you didn't say, Lorilei, are you going to do some readings? I can do that too if you want. We can do whatever you guys would like. Did that pop up on the screen? Oh, it did. Good. Okay. Give me. It's hard to do this when I'm trying to produce, pull up videos, and keep talking. Okay.
Red Anderson, who is an Air Force medic, says that strange things often happen at the military base's treatment facility where he works.
I guess this isn't the elevator button. Let's go back to it. Not very long.
That ain't it.
That ain't
One
it.
late night, Red is sending his wife a Snapchat message when he captures something that is pure nightmare fuel.
But yeah, there's that. Anyway, I just had to check to see mom real quick. I'll be home in a sec, but I love you crazy.
Did you see it?
No.
In the doorway across the hall, some strange dark shape
hard
seems to
to
peer down from the top of the doorway. Something with 2 little
Ew.
widely spaced eyes. As it ducks out of sight, a strange sound can be heard. Now, there isn't supposed to be anyone else in the base medical facility, so Rhett goes to investigate. But he doesn't see anything. Rhett says that his wife later pointed out the strange onlooker in his video, and when he saw it, it sent a chill down his spine. Next stop, nowhere. The property manager of a high-rise building in China.
Kevin, I don't know if you were sending me that message ahead of time because you say I was waiting for you to read my mind lore. I was thinking, oh, I could hear you loud and clear ahead of time. Wait, I'm just going to go back with the comments before you start that. Sparky said, Julie says, I don't either. Definitely talking to her grandmother for the video before. So Sparky says, I think so. I talked to my great-grandparents through Knox. My uncle comes through with Knox and other devices. So yeah, I'm a believer for sure. And that's what Kevin said when I mentioned about the readings. Well, we can definitely do some of that too. Definitely. Okay, so finally we're at the elevator video. So hang on.
Steps into the elevator for what should have been a routine ride. But out of nowhere, things take a terrifying turn. Electric bang, and it slams to a violent emergency stop. The property manager is a bit shaken, but luckily, he's unharmed. However, there was something more going on here. Did you see it?
No.
In the reflection of the elevator doors, something strange appears, like a pale hand or maybe a long white finger reaching towards the man's shoulder. Others say it looks more like a ghostly mist creeping through the small gap in the elevator doors. But either way, let me know what you think. Next up,
What did you guys? I didn't see it until he slowed it down. Heidi, take care, honey. Big hugs to you and much love. So what did you guys think? Like, I didn't see that thing until he slowed it down. I was even watching for it when I rewatched it now, and I still couldn't see it. There's one more with the elevators I thought I'd share. Hang on, I'm going to see it.
3 friends are on a summer trip to Spain, staying in a large high-rise hotel. One night, they hop on the elevator to head down to the lobby, but that's when things start to go very wrong.
Yo, so this elevator is acting mad weird. We started a few floors up, and
This
Fast forward to 45 minutes later, and the guys are still stuck in the elevator as the lights flicker and the temperature begins to rise from the summer heat.
all right, so the power is out. The backup, yeah, there you go. The backup generator's been coming on and off. We've been having the time of our lives. And yeah, we're like cooking a life.
Now, luckily, the hotel does have a backup generator, but unluckily, the generator seems to be malfunctioning. And here is where things start to get a bit weird. Because for some unknown reason, the elevator takes them to the hotel's 16th floor.
This gets really weird. The other one was kind of like, it's okay. This was weird, and I never saw it either till he points it out. So you guys tell me what you think this is when you see it, or I have no clue what this is. Anyway, if we could go to the YouTube tab, there we go.
Which is currently abandoned and under construction.
Oh, no, look, it works.
What is
Okay, so it's been doing this for a minute, and there's nothing out there. All right, no, that did something.
No. I don't know.
What is going on?
Are we too heavy? Is there someone there? What?
Ew.
The doors shut again, trapping them inside. But a little bit later, and finally there's a silver lining, as the elevator power seems to come back on.
We're moving.
Fine. Thank you.
Where are we going?
Oh, wait. This is stop. No.
No, that's the same one as before.
No.
All right.
The power comes back on and the elevator starts to move, but inexplicably it somehow just ends up back on the creepy abandoned 16th floor. At this point, the friends debate just stepping out and trying to find the stairs. But with the floor completely blacked out and under construction, they decide it's safer to just stay put. And now, over an hour has passed, and the guys are starting to get a bit stir-crazy in the hot, cramped elevator.
There you go. I got you.
Oh. Oh, he's cooking something.
What are you doing?
Yep.
I gotta pee.
Oh, you gotta pee.
It's making my bladder. I gotta pee.
You gotta pee.
Well, like a rapper. Go. I gotta pee.
Oh,
I'm holding my bladder.
yep.
I gotta pee. I don't know what else is going on. I gotta pee. It's making me mad. Going like so. Angry like Bowser.
Guys, this is probably the worst thing. Anyway.
Now, shortly after this clip, power was fully restored and the guys finally made it down to the hotel lobby. They upload videos of their harrowing.
Okay, I'm going to pause it just for a sec. Wait till you see, because, okay, so I'm just going to read your comments. So I haven't gotten to the part yet. There's a reason why. Okay, so you'll notice it, Kevin. You go the elevator door saying that's freaky, it's odd, curious. Anyone noticing anything with the chat last few days? Have noticed not all messages going through. I agree with you, probably. So if you guys are sending messages and I'm not reading them, maybe try YouTube or a different platform, because especially with Facebook, we don't get to see them all. Okay, just wait. We haven't got to spooky. I did not see this. I can see it plain as day now where I know where it is, and it is creepy. I have no idea what this thing is. Hang on. We're getting there.
Adventure on the elevator, but their viewers spot something truly chilling. Again, Did you see it? As the guys are goofing around while stuck on the creepy 16th floor, something black seems to appear behind them and rise up from the floor. So just why did the elevator keep dragging them back to that closed-off 16th floor? And why was it shut down in the first place? But most importantly, what is this? Let me know what you think. If you see something that you think would be perfect for the top 5.
So, what do you guys think that thing is? I never see anything like that, but that is freaking creepy. I know Mish goes, ew. That's exactly my exact words, I think, Mish. When he pointed it out, I don't think I've ever, I don't know, Victoria, if you're still hanging in there, have you ever seen anything like that before? Like, what the heck was that? And why the 16th floor? Like, I can't even call that a shadow being. I couldn't call it a ghost. Like, I don't know what the heck that thing was. You know, there, Victoria, see, I say your name and then you just say that's so creepy. Michelle Wilfong, that's creepy. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was. That's why I wanted to show you guys. Like at first, okay, the first video was kind of like, you know, I'm not getting really riled up. Yeah, something weird happened on the elevator in Asia with the first guy with the looked like a creepy kind of lit up hand, or it could be a mist, it could be anything, right? But this thing, and I kept thinking now as I was rewatching this, holy crap, one of the guys was laying there. Like he was laying there before this thing materialized. So Victoria, you've seen something similar? Did you get any EVPs? Did you get a feeling? Did you get anything? Jean Bassett saying creepy. So Sparky saying it looks more something like trying to join in, like not harmful, but something coming in very odd. I don't know if it was joining in. The fact that it kept, like there has to be something why the elevator kept going to the 16th floor. It wasn't in order. It didn't matter what they did. They were in the elevator for over an hour. And eventually they said the power. Hi, Mort Ali. Nice to see you. Yeah, Mesh, you said black goo. I don't know. That's why I wanted to show you guys. I went, ooh, that's creepy and weird. Like, what is that thing? I don't know. And Astrolight Paranormal Victoria says it was on the floor and creeped out around a door frame. Yeah, I don't know what that thing was. Same as I didn't mean to show the guy with the military being on Snapchat. I was trying to get these elevator videos, but that's what I'm saying. Like when you see something weird like that, like it's like, what the heck? This one had a couple weird things in it, this whole video. So if you guys are listening or you want to watch it, you go to Nuke's Top 5 on YouTube. And it's the first and second video from the top under the video tab. I'm looking, he had a couple really interesting ones in here. I'm just seeing what else is here. Oh, this is weird. This is really, 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 really weird. Let me see if I can get to it. Okay, I got to go back a bit further. This is another one. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, it's a bit longer. Okay, we'll get past that. Let me mute this so we don't get a commercial. I'm waiting until... Just let me move it. It'll just take a minute and then I'll share this. But this is weird. It's a bit longer. And I don't usually, like if we're going to watch something weird, you kind of want to see something like that you haven't seen before, right? Okay, hang on. There it is. Let me unmute it. Hopefully we don't get a commercial. Okay.
A young woman named Aria is staying at an old hotel in Virginia. One night around 10 p.m., she's walking back to her room when she notices a strange-looking man following her. She starts to record with her phone, pretending that she's on a video call to try to scare the guy away. But it doesn't seem to work.
Okay.
She said I was recording for my own safety, for people listening. My heart almost stopped beating. People listening, she's saying, help me, somebody help me. And then she's saying, I feel, and it says help. And she's screaming and she's running and she's filming this. And I kept going, oh my God, oh my God. My heart was in my throat. But just wait.
Arya says that she heard the man's footsteps behind her start to get faster, and she thought that he was chasing her. So she runs and starts screaming for help. But now this is when things start to get weird, because viewers begin to notice that if you slow down the video at a couple of key moments, no one can be seen chasing Arya. And so now we cut to a completely different TikTok account, one made by a guy named Tony, who is a maintenance worker at this very same hotel. Tony sees Arya's video online, so he goes to check the hotel security footage. He finds this.
Y'all, so here's video of that girl that posted, and I'm gonna let y'all know now. It gets really weird.
So stopping this just for a second, if you're watching, she's in an elevator. It almost reminded me of the footage. If you look up from this, I believe it's a Cecil Hotel with Elisa Lam. And Elisa Lam was missing very sadly and tragically, was found in the water tower tank above on the roof, no longer alive. But the last footage of her is caught in the elevator at the Cecil Hotel. Like at first, when I first watched this, I was thinking, oh my God, did like someone clip in that footage almost? Oh, just wait. This is weird. Like really, really weird. That's why I'm showing you guys this. I'm not saying, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me, but it's weird. That's all I can say. So that's what this video footage reminded me of. That's why I stopped at 2. Plus for fair use, we have to with commentary.
It's like she acting like she's running from something or hiding from something, but there's literally nobody else in the frame. Like she tweaking.
Yeah, it is weird.
And the elevator door is not even closing. Like she playing hide and seek or something.
In the video, we see Arya running down the hall and then cowering in the elevator. But again, no one can be seen chasing her. Strangely, the elevator doors just won't close. So Arya runs out. Tony says that the front desk clerk said that Arya did eventually make it downstairs. She left in an Uber without a word. So now Tony is curious as to just what might have happened to make Arya run away. He finds the girl's room number and goes up with a coworker. What they find is truly disturbing.
It's like all my stuff is just left here. It's crazy. No, this is ridiculous. What the heck is this doing in here?
Yo, hold on, y'all. Why the f is this in here? Hold this. Yo, y'all. This is crazy.
All of Arya's luggage.
Before I go any further, first of all, I thought, why are you picking this up? Because if there was something nefarious going on, your fingerprints are all over it. But I digress.
Is still in the room. Even stranger, the room looks like it has been ransacked, with things strewn all over the floor. Weirdest of all, Tony finds something commonly called an underdoor tool. This device is often used by criminals to break into hotel rooms with a latched door. So now Tony thinks that someone might have been in Arya's room, and maybe there actually was someone chasing her. He goes back and takes a closer look at the hotel security footage. What he finds chills him to his core.
All right, y'all. So
Yeah, Mish, it's the same. It's not Elisa Lam. It's the same girl that was running and screaming in the video. From what I understand, this guy is a maintenance worker in the same hotel. You were thinking the same, Kevin, too? I was thinking the same evidence, fingerprints, right? But it's the stuff that's supposedly caught on the security camera. That is weird. I don't know what's involved with this. Yeah, same one as the girl running. Yeah, same girl, because that's why I stopped it. Well, I have to anyways for fair use with a long video like this when we're showing it from YouTube. But the thing is, that's what it reminded me of, was the footage caught of Elisa Lam in the Cecil Hotel. Now, this is not the Cecil Hotel either. But wait till you see what supposedly the security camera footage that this Tony, who's a maintenance worker at this hotel, he somehow saw her video on TikTok or whatever and did his own investigating. Now, again, this could be all made up. I don't know, but it's weird. The weird part's coming. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see it. It'll let me get there.
Went back and was looking at the video of that girl from the other day, right? Because I'm thinking maybe somebody must be following her. Just keep watching the screen right here, man. I saw something that just... That's just the housekeeper down there. Right there. Right there.
I don't know what that was.
This is crazy. And y'all think that's crazy. Keep watching like right by that door right there, by that table. Keep watching right over by there. My hand is shaking. Right there.
What is that?
What the heck? Bro, that's a rock from that table right there. Those are stones and those in bowls right there by that table. And that one of them stones just fell on the floor.
And there's no way that should happen because there's no wind in there.
Wind ain't even gonna do that though. This is crazy, yo.
Just a few minutes after we see Arya running down the hall, we can see a strange, unexplained shadow that seems to speed off down the hallway in the same direction. Shortly afterwards, a stone from a nearby decorative bowl mysteriously launches off the table and lands in the hallway floor. Now, Tony says that he doesn't know exactly what happened here. He says that he has never experienced anything like this while working at the old hotel, but he has heard strange, unexplained sounds from time to time.
Keep in mind, there's no construction going on. Nothing.
So was some real person with bad intentions chasing Arya? Was this something supernatural? Or is it all just a very elaborate hoax? As always, you decide.
Okay, let me pull that off. So what did you guys think of that? Like, that was weird. Like, what was that? Right? Like, the whole thing just seemed really, really, really... Mish, keep rolling. I am, I promise. And Sparky says, yeah, freaky when everybody's saying a shadow. It's hard to see, but after the shadow goes by, right? And I was glad that Nuke's top 5 at least showed that she's running down the hallway. Looks like a few seconds later, the shadow goes running by, but then he says, keep an eye on that doorway where the table is. I could see better on my phone. So it looks like it's a table the hotel put out with a bowl of like local rocks or whatever. So the shadow goes by and then the rock comes flying right out of the bowl. I don't know. Yeah, Vet Girl's going, yeah, huh? And then to see if anyone broke in. Didn't they have footage of her door after she checked in? I don't know, because a lot of hotels don't always have footage of every doorway. I can definitely tell you that. I remember I used to go to autism conferences every 2 years in Toronto. And I was staying in, it's called the Delta Chelsea. It used to be an okay hotel in downtown Toronto. And that was my biggest fear going alone, was having to go up so many flights in the elevator because it was a big hotel. It had 3 different sets of elevators and stuff, and having to go to and from to my room. So I usually would get security to go with me. But my biggest worry, I remember, I love Good Charlotte. I do. I did love Simple Plan, Good Charlotte, all those bands. And they were playing in Toronto while I was there. So I went to the concert by myself. And when I got back, it was really late. So I definitely grabbed a security guard to go up to my room with me, because there's not always security cameras everywhere in a hotel. So there is some, but not always, right? Like, it's not going to be in front of every doorway, because you want to be able to afford the guests some privacy. So I imagine they've got some, but it just was all weird. Like you're all saying, like Kevin Z Sundragon says, the shadow and nobody there. Table was shaking. Victoria from Astrolight Paranormal saying, yeah, that was super weird. Mish is going to see if anyone checked in. Like, I don't know, maybe it could have been all weirdo stuff, but I didn't bother. I didn't have enough time. And I could do this is usually when they put people's names up on, say, Nuke's Top 5, Bizarre Bub, any of these things, they'll usually get people's social media channels or platforms. I'll go there and check out their platforms usually. Tonight, I didn't get a chance. So I thought, I'm just going to show you this. There was a lot of weird stuff that happened to dogs too. I think it's this one. It's a pet store. If it's not, it's the second one. I'll show you because that was weird. Like, there's no way. I'm just going to go through here. Is this the doggy one? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, this is one of the dog ones, I think. Let me see. I think it might be. Give me one sec. I'll mute it just to make sure. Because like I say, I watched over 20 video clips today. I think this is the one with the dogs. This was really weird. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it is. I'll play this one to you guys. This is weird. What happened? It was cool. Thanks, Lorilei. You're welcome. No problem. I'm glad. Like I say, I was looking for weird and unusual, strange stuff. Sparky, you're saying cams are normally put in congregated areas. It's in hallways, elevators, and such. Agreed. Yes, your security cameras is what you meant. Yeah, I agree with you. They're in places, so they're not on every bit of hallway. Hi, Joanna Garfield McNally. I haven't seen you in a while. You say she might have been in a room where a person died and the person didn't want her there, scared her enough to chase her out. Could have been, but it was weird that break-in tool was found in a room. Plus, I found that a little weird. Like, I know he brought another hotel person with them, but I don't know. I'd be a little creeped out if you knew the maintenance guy was in your room, like checking stuff out. Like, why not call security or something? Like I said, this all didn't add up, but it was still kind of weird. I don't know. I'll do a bit more digging. We'll see if we can find out more info for him. But hang on. Okay, so this one is with the pet ones, because this one was weirdo stuff, man. Weird. Okay, make sure it's up there. And Joanna, yeah, it was weird. I don't know. That's why I'm sharing with you guys a little bit more weirdo type stuff tonight, because it's kind of unexplainable, but isn't the paranormal always?
A couple in West Virginia owns a little pet shop, and they usually let one of their older dogs wander around the place. But one morning, when they come in to open up, something seems wrong. The dog isn't his usual happy self. Instead, he's curled up in his bed, trembling, and absolutely refuses to come out. The shop owners are worried, and they check the security cameras to see what might have spooked the little dog. They find something truly bizarre. At around 11:30 p.m., the camera shows the little dog wandering aimlessly through the dark pet store. Suddenly, out of nowhere, something seems to actually launch the dog sideways, hard, almost as if he was kicked. Thankfully, the pup wasn't seriously hurt. But was this some weird freak occurrence? Or does the pet shop have a guest that no one can see?
So, I'll tell you, if that was at my house, holy cow, man, or my shop, I would not be happy if anybody laid a finger on a hair of one of my pets, or God forbid, my kiddos. Mish says he stepped on a Lego. Yeah, there's no Lego in pet stores. But I know you were making a joke. I know. Like, what the you know what? Like, what the you know what? There's another quick one here, too. Kevin says, hate it when spirits attack animals. Yep. Yes, I know. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Okay, this is the other one. It was quick, too.
Next up, a guy named Angelo says that some seriously strange things have been happening in his house in Tenerife, one of the Canary Islands of Spain. Angelo says that one night his dog Nala started acting very weird, as if something had given her a serious scare. Curious and a little worried, they decide to check the security footage. What they find is downright chilling.
You guys can see her if you watch the TV screen because she's not quite on camera, but just as a little hint.
In the video, little Nala seems upset by something off to the side of the room. Something that we can't see. Nala starts backing away, clearly frightened. Then, suddenly, something seems to violently yank the collar right off the dog's neck. Angelo posted follow-up videos to prove the footage wasn't fake. He showed that the clip came directly from his security camera, and he even demonstrated that Nala's collar is extremely difficult to remove. It doesn't just fall off. Angelo says that since the incident, his poor little dog Nala is a nervous wreck. He says the dog refuses to stay alone and now insists on sleeping in their bedroom every night. As for Angelo, he's added 2 more cameras around his house because he thinks that whatever pulled that collar off is still there, and he plans to catch it on camera. It sees you. It seems that both children...
That's a creepy one too. Let me see. It's called Good Boy, you said. I'm going to go a little higher, Contessa. Don't mess with the fur babies. Yes, I agree. And Contessa said there's a spooky movie coming out about dogs, a dog seeing ghosts. Ooh. And you said Contessa, it's called Good Boy. Oh my God, never mess with the fur babies. That's exactly what I think. So I wouldn't be leaving my babies unattended if I couldn't, and I'd be energetically protecting them in any way I could if, God forbid, you had to leave them alone. You guys want to hear something funny about fur babies that I just remembered? So I was out in my backyard on the weekend, and there's a sliding glass door, and my partner Della had gone out to camp, okay? And my dog, Emmy, decided she was going to bark and bark and bark and bark at the neighborhood dog. So rule is, you're going to bark, you have to go inside and have a timeout for a little bit. So I'm sitting there playing on my phone, enjoying the nice weather. And my dog is like banging her head against the glass, and she's like kind of pawing it. And I said, okay, fine. So I was going to go to the door. I go to pull the sliding glass door. It's locked. And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. Pulling it again, locked. My dog, as a German Shepherd, and she does not jump on the glass. I guess she'd put her paws up on the top and let her paws slide down, and she caught the lock on the sliding glass door and locked me out of my house, if you can believe that. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do now? So I looked at the other side of the sliding glass. Could I get in? Absolutely not, which gave me at least some peace of mind that nobody else could break in. I'm thinking, how am I going to get back in the house? And I'm thinking, I thought, well, I could call my partner, Del, but he's way out at our camp / cabin or cottage, whatever you want to call it. I'm thinking, what can I do? I knew he'd probably be back in about 4 to 6 hours. And I'm still thinking, and then I go, oh my God, I've only got 19% left on my phone. What am I going to do for 4 or 5 hours? Thank God I remembered that I had given my eldest son an emergency key for emergencies. So he came and rescued me. So speaking of our fur babies, I thought I'd tell you guys that story. Never would have thought in a gazillion years my dog could lock me out of the house. So today, because I like to go in the backyard if it's really, really hot, because the sun doesn't hit till after lunchtime back there. Guess who remembered to bring their keys just in case Miss Emmy for some reason. So I thought I'd tell you guys something funny. So we got another few minutes. I'm just going to read a few things here. Sparky says, I'm sorry I would go to war if something went after my pups. And Contessa says, I would go crazy if that happened to my pets. Not nice, very creepy. Joanna Garfield McNally saying, I know you'd all... Mish said maybe hi to Key out back. I don't know. Well, at least I know my kid's got a key if I have to call him like I did. Well, just don't panic. That's all you have to do. Just don't panic. Because I called my son and he didn't answer. And so I texted him, it said his name, texted it, and said, I need help. And then I had to explain what was going on. Oh, is Kathy here? I didn't even see Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Hang on. I didn't see you if you're here, Kathy. I'm sorry, but hi. I'm glad somebody said hi to you. So Michelle Wolfong said, my dog has locked me out of my car with the keys in it. Julie says, me too. Hi, Kathy Henley Little. Now I see you. So we have just a minute. So I decided, Carrie Lynn bought me this beautiful deck as a gift called as Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards. So I thought I'll pull a card for everybody. And then, yeah, then I hope you guys will stay tuned because Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron are coming up next with the Light Gate. And I'm hoping you'll all stay tuned and join them. I love when I get to hang out with y'all. You know, I don't get to do it very often, and I was thinking, I know there's people I could call and have on. And I thought, no, I haven't done a show on my own in a long time. I love when people join me, but it's fun to hang out. So the card I pulled, first quarter moon in Sagittarius. What a perfect card. Believe in good luck. So I believe there is such a thing as good luck, but I also believe that we are the makers of our own destiny. And I just pulled this card, just so you know, I did not have this prepared. So remember, we can be our own worst critic. When we hear that inner voice and the way we talk to ourselves, most of us would never even dream of talking to another human being. When you catch yourself, if you can, within the mind's eye, you don't have to say it out loud, something like stop, cancel, delete, whatever it is, rewind and reword that phrase. Because we do beat ourselves up, especially when something goes wrong or we feel it's our fault. And if you're having a hard time rewinding and rewording it in a more positive, loving way, if you can, even imagine yourself as a little child or somebody that you really love. What would you say to them if they made a mistake? What would you say to them? How would you support them? What are the loving words you would use to turn those words inward? Because believe me, positive thinking, I think, is half the battle when it comes to good luck. Believing that it's your birthright, believing that it's yours, right? Attaching those positive, wonderful emotions to whatever that may be, right? There's some really good manifestation channels out there that you can check out. One of them, I'm trying to remember, I call her my adopted daughter, but she sent me, I got a minute. I can tell you the name of it. She sent me it, and I haven't done it yet, but it's a channel she sent me. One of them, her name is Evie. I would love to have her on the show. I don't know if I'd ever be able to. She's ex-CIA, and she's been doing all kinds of incredible stuff and wrote some books. She's got a course out there. I'm trying to find her name for you. If you can, check out her interview. I'm going back further. We leave a lot of messages to each other, but let me go in here. I know I'll find the links. Search and conversation. No, I don't want that. I want media, because I wasn't planning on talking about her, but she's really incredible. Give me a sec here. I know where to find. I will find her. Her name is Evie. Anytime now. Evie Pompouras. It's Poumpoouras, and it's called The Art of Influence. And the other one is Becoming Bulletproof, is her book called. Protect Yourself. I'm getting there. Anytime now. Come on. Becoming Bulletproof. Protect yourself, read people, influence situations, and live fearlessly. And she has some incredible advice for all of us about how to change your mindset, how to change your life. And I think that that's kind of why this came up with, the card that came up for us was believe in your good luck, believe in yourself. The one I'm trying to find, I think her name is Illuminating Joy. Is her YouTube channel? Yeah, it is. Illuminating Joy on YouTube. So she shared the channel with me, and I just happened to go to one video. It says how to manifest free items. And she shared the unboxing on how she manifested the exact MacBook that she'd always wanted. It's only a 5-minute video. It's really powerful. So if you can, check it out, guys. Anyways, I love y'all. I hope you will hang out with me on Thursday with Carrie Lynn and I when we are talking about black-eyed kids and ghost children. That will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. I'm just checking. I did have this ready for next week's guest. Oh, we're having Sonia Roy on. She's been on before. You guys always love when she comes on. And so she's back on. Week after that, we have Kat Ward from Paranormal Heart coming on. She's on UPR and her show is on Tuesdays. So we got lots of fun guests coming up and lots of fun things. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/Angel Rock at the moment, or any social media platform with my name, Lorilei Potvin, or the Angel Rock. I do psychic and mediumship readings. I do the Akashic Records. I do crystal Reiki, which works with your chakras and energy field. I also do teaching and mentoring. I am working every week with one of my besties, Leanne Clark, the Crystal Architect on Facebook and YouTube. I call her the Crystal Wizardress. We are working on our first course out there. It is, but my brain is just going blank every time I want to access something. We have the name of our course, and it is coming, I promise you, because we have set aside every single week to work on it. So spiritual, it's a nature of and I just went completely blocked up here. The nature of spirituality, and it's called Foundations, and I think it's called The Nature of the Journey, actually, Foundations in Spirituality. And we're planning on building a community with that and everything. So when we do, I'm planning on going to a domain name. But in the meantime, you can reach out to me anytime on social media, and I'd love to talk to you or work with you. All right? So I love you all. Have a great rest of your next couple days till see you on Thursday. Okay. Stay tuned for Dolly and Preston next. Thank you to Carnation for sponsoring all the shows on Mondays here. We deeply appreciate you. Much love. We'll talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.